thank you for being here. I'm sorry we just turned it over and it was a free throw fest. Not beautiful for women's basketball, but I really appreciate our fans and I really appreciate you all covering this game. So thank you.
Go, Jennie. Jennie, this game became almost an old-fashioned half-court game. I mean, the way the game was called and things like that. It seemed like you could never get into the flow and get your outside game going.
Well, we did struggle getting in a flow, but it also is hard to get in a flow when we pass to the wrong team. So we needed to do a better job taking care of the ball. Reagan in foul trouble obviously didn't help. I thought our ball movement was really good in the first quarter. And then we had some moments, I thought, in the third quarter, but we went away from completing our cuts. We went away from just our receivers being relentless. I do think we rebounded the ball well. We just got to convert a little bit more.
Ryan?
Payton, when the turnovers kind of started going, what was that you guys might have kind of like settle back down, especially in that second and third quarter?
Yeah, I think it's something that really we practice every single day when we're practicing is we play a fast-paced offense, so we know there's going to be some things like turnovers. We might average a little more, but I think we really focused a lot this last week on taking care of the ball, especially knowing we're going to play a team like Texas and further on in the SEC that they like to press, and we've played teams like that. So I think it hurts that was something that hurt us a lot because we focused and worked a lot of that in practice. And so, I mean, just going from here, I think we know what we can work on, so we can only get better.
Eric?
Jennie, going back kind of to James' question about game flow, have you ever had a 12-minute official review where you're surprised it took so long, and what was the explanation at the end?
Yeah, that was long. I don't know if I've had one that long. Maybe not. Not that I can recall right this second. The explanation was basically they had an intentional foul and we reacted to it, and so they negated each other.
George?
Jennie, I know this wasn't the result you wanted, but what did you just think of the crowd tonight?
I thought the crowd was amazing. I was really proud that people came. I thought we were on our feet. I thought they were with us. I just wish that we could have played better and brought it home for them. So that's the really unfortunate part because I felt really good about our crowd. I felt really good about, just seeing so much crimson. I thought that was really special for us too. And it was that part was good for women's basketball.
Coale?
Jennie, obviously you mentioned Reagan with being out with the fouls for a lot of time, but Liz Scott's performance tonight I thought was huge off the bench, and being able to have that depth from a size perspective isn't something that's always been here for your entire tenure, for your time at OU. Just from her performance in particular, what did you see out of Liz off the bench today?
Well, I thought Liz brought incredible energy. I thought Beatrice Culleton, I mean, talk about a player that didn't play a couple days ago in a game and came out and played the way that she did. So I'd love to give her some of that credit too, but I agree. I think Liz did some really good things. I think Sahara getting her third foul hurt us, but I was really pleased with that, with Liz.
Go to Ryan and back to James.
What didn't get going for you guys tonight for Steve, Jennie? Just one of those nights or something Texas was doing that frustrated you guys?
Well, I think in the first half we got some really good looks. I really do, and those are going to go in. In the second half, I feel like, yes, you have to, they're obviously going to try to guard a three from that standpoint, but we didn't get enough of our pass-aheads. We didn't get enough of paint touches and into a flow and player movement. I feel like we either got tired and then we would pass and stand, but when we move the ball and you get anybody into any kind of rotation, you're going to get some open looks, and then you can hopefully steal one in the full court. But the fouls, there were a lot of free throws, there was a lot of stoppage in play. That's not helpful for us. So we've got to find a way to be able to rebound the ball better, and or stop fouling. We can't have dead ball rebounds. You can't set up the press break. You got to be able to keep that free flow. And and again, it might be different when I'm watching it on film than how it felt live, but I think that was a big thing for us.
James on the right and James on the left.
Now, I also think we passed up some looks that we don't need to pass up.
Coach, you talked a lot about Zaya's defensive, intensity coming into this game, and she did a couple of good plays for you all there. What did you think about her, and did you feel like you played well defensively against Texas today?
I feel like we fouled too much. and they scored on their offensive rebounds. So I know we out-rebounded them, but when you give up 17 points in a game, can you say that you played great defense on second chances, right? So I think our initial looks sometimes were pretty good. I thought our help was a lot better, but we have to find a way, and you can't do that at home, and you can't do that to a team that really is really good at that. So that was an area, and it was the second play of the game. If we could really have established that a little bit more, I think in the first, we would feel a lot better. And then I do feel like, again, I feel like we were okay, but the one that we got to get, we didn't get it. And normally those are the ones we get. The ones you have to have, you get. So that's, I think we're going to go back and we're going to watch and we're going to say, okay, we might have done some things okay, but were we really good? I don't know.
Go James and then Jesse. Payton, I'm curious, Texas is so long and they pride themselves, like you guys do, on playing good defense. Talk about what it was like trying to generate offense and trying to get your offense going.
Yeah. I thought in the first quarter especially, we were playing a lot of like Oklahoma basketball, the way we like to play. We weren't letting their defense dictate what we were doing on offense, and I think that slowly kind of changed throughout the game. And so obviously that's frustrating just because that's all of us. I mean, we know when they're pressing. Honestly, I like when teams press because we can push, and we got on the move. And I think we just really took advantage of that in the first quarter. So going back in the game, we wish we could have that back and do that all 4 quarters. But again, we know this is going to be the same we're going to face in other SEC games. So again, it's only going to make us better. So.
Jesse, then Ryan.
Jennie, kind of building on that, they just touched on it, but just their pressure, how much they were pressing, just the turnovers and everything, just with this being the SEC opener, just how much is this potentially a learning experience for you guys, just the kind of environment this was, and knowing you still got the SEC schedule ahead of you? How much is this just a learning experience for you guys?
I hope it is. I hope it's one where we can learn. I don't want to simplify it in terms of taking care of the ball, but I want us to learn. Like, I don't think we're as confident as we need to be right now. And so this is one of those games where you kind of hope that we get our little edge back in making sure that we know that we can do that. I haven't seen a team of ours pass up as many shots either. And, then we turned it over after. So those are the things that will be really interesting as we all process this, because this team is good. We have a really, really good basketball team. So I'm excited to see how we respond. I'm excited to see how we show up tomorrow. I'm excited to see how hungry we continue to get, because our best basketball could be ahead of us, no question.
Right.
And then, Payton, curious, your perspective on what happened there in the last minute of the third that led to the delay. I know you were right there in the middle of it. And then just the physicality of this game as a whole and what you can take away from that moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, it's just basketball. We're both really competitive, so I think you go out there and emotions get high, and we have a big crowd. We want to play good for them. We want to play good for us. So again, it's just basketball. Nothing personal at the end of the day. And I think for us, we do good. I think when it's a physical game, obviously there's foul calls, whether we thought they were or not. I think, again, looking at the stat sheet, we out-rebounded them. We had more points in the paint. Just I feel like those turnovers really hurt us. And, again, that's something we're going to work on.
Jennie, just kind of wondering what you think it is about Texas that makes them just so tough. I mean, you guys started off so well, 12-point lead, and it just felt like, for me, it felt like I blinked and all of a sudden they were back in it. It just seems like...
Yeah. Well, one, obviously you have an experienced point guard that's really good, and then you have a lot of other All-Americans on their team. Honestly, I thought Jordan Lee was the difference of the game. I thought she came in, I thought she was really, really good for them today. Obviously, she shot the ball really well, and as a freshman to be able to do that, that's pretty darn impressive. So we didn't obviously have an answer for Oldeker either. I thought she came in and gave them some great production. So as quote unquote good as you feel that you did on Booker, she still hit, 2 really big shots. But I feel like those 2 were really the main difference in the game today.
So you obviously said that starting tomorrow you want to see some fire lit back into these girls after this loss. You're not back at home for another week and a half. So what do you want to see from them going into another top 25 matchup with Tennessee, an undefeated record on the line, and Mississippi State before coming back?
Well, I haven't watched them at all to know that. But I do know that these women are resilient and we respond. So that's what I want us to see. So I want to see us to be able to step in, own what we did, not feel sorry for ourselves, not worry, not have any kind of a mindset that somebody did this to us. We have to own our stuff and be able to respond. So it's not light a fire in terms of, oh, we got to get more competitive. It's light a fire in terms of, at some point, we got to realize how good we actually are. And I can't do that for you. I don't think there's anybody that can believe in this team more than I do. There's nobody that's going to go back and look at the film and look in the mirror more than I am. I'm really disappointed in the way that we finished the game. I love how we started, obviously. Even the second quarter, I felt like we got good looks, and they don't go in. And sometimes they're not going to go in, and it's still part of the process. The way that we finished the game, I don't like. Now, we're going to step up, and we're not going to sit there and we're not going to be like, okay, we're not good enough and all that. That's not my point. My point is, at the end of the day, we got to compete in every possession, and you can't take one off. And I think that's probably part of what everyone keeps telling us the SEC is all about. But we already knew that in this game. And so sorry, I was going to say a not good word. That's what's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Good time for a couple more, Joe.
Jennie, Danielle Robinson was on her during one of the breaks. What was it like having her back and maybe getting to know her a little bit?
Well, and what's different is when they come from a scouting perspective, there's not much that you can really do as much as we'd love to have her come and be in the locker room and be with the team and do all these things. They have some rules too. So that's the hard part. But I tell you what, the alumni here, you love seeing her. The doors are always open. We want her to come as much as she can possibly come. But she's so supportive of everything. This program is special. You know, I mean, Sherri Coale still supports us. You get a text constantly. She's probably already texted me. Stacey Dales. I mean, you look at the premier players in this program, like this place is really special. And so we want to do it for them. But to be able to honor her and celebrate her, what a phenomenal career. For her to just be retiring right now, trust me, we still wish she could lace them up and put them on, because we would welcome it.
Anybody else? Kate? Anything? Good? Yeah, hold
Thank
it.
you, guys.
Oh, sorry, we'll take one more.
Real quick, Payton.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, just hearing what Jennie had to say about, the team and stuff, how confident are you that you guys can get to that level and, really believe in yourselves like that?
Oh, absolutely. I know we're completely capable of it because we've done it in practice. We've done it in games so far this season. And I think what she said is like we aren't even close to like our ceiling. And I think that's hopefully what I'll go back and look, and what our team will go back and look at is just, yes, this game hurts. It should hurt because we work so hard to prepare for this. We work so hard when we're on the court. But ultimately, we know it's things that are in our control. So I think it's always better to hear that.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you guys.
Boomer.